So we're going to go into the second match then as we get ready. And it's going to be a 1-0 advantage for Nihilum. And I mean, with the setups, I mean, surely do you not think the Warlock, Warrior, Druid team of Nihilum is kind of like a counter comp, is it not? Or is it? Your opinion, please, expert.
On the counter comp on this, it's a good setup. I don't know. I wouldn't call it a counter comp on this setup. That double healer, you know, can take care of. He's got that the priest with the prayer mending, which is going to bounce all over the place to stop a lot of the damage from Inflame. But so
as we follow Paper Cat as he rides around on his mount, looking if you can see the rogue or druid.
They're trying to find those two stealth players, which can actually make a large shift in the balance right at the start if they can find them. And as you can see on your screen, he's just riding over him. He actually does get sapped right away.
So then Paper Cat then going to open up on the rogue Ginny Low, and he's going to get help from Inflame. And Inflame taking no damage at the moment as he kites back, but continues to dot up the rogue. And he's going to use Cloak of Shadows then to get out of the... has he used Cloak of Shadows? Yeah, he did use Cloak of Shadows to get rid of those dots and roots, saving some mana from his dual healers. And Paper Cat now then controlled. And Paper Cat, the Warrior, doesn't actually have like a Dispel unless Inflame is very good at using his defensive Dispels on his pet, which in 8 seconds, so it is very, very possible.
Yeah, and that's you do see the Druid feared away, and that's their only Dispel, like you're saying. So in between those 8 seconds, they can get off a lot of crowd control on that Druid. But Inflame's is taking a bunch of damage right now. But, you know, the Druid, and they're splitting damage really well, this Nihilum team, which is going to put a lot of pressure on the Druid and the Priest. The Priest really is, he's bashed
But look
right
at this,
now,
this is a bad situation for the team of the German team Atrox, as they have both their healers very low, and I think they've been forced to use their nature swiftness on their own Druid, and he actually has pain suppression now, which leaves the rogue very available to attack, which is exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, the Priest right now is spell locked. We just saw that come out, so he can't cast any spells right now. So, but he's back in the game now. Improved hamstrung.
And look at this. They're almost. It looks like they're trying to pull the rogue constantly away from the healers, so they have to move. As Inflame is very good at positioning, tries to pull him behind a pillar, but also you can see the Priest there trying to chase away Care Cola. I think he actually did, and I think there was a trinket. And as we see now, I mean, the mana is still very, very good for the German team. And Care Cola is going to maybe be in trouble if they can keep a good rogue DPS on either Inflame or maybe even the pet.
So they're going to be sticking on the rogue is going to be constantly on Inflames. You know, he's going to be able to shut down a lot of his crowd control, and that's why you do pick to go on the Warlock in this situation, because when you leave a Warlock alone, they can basically run your team into the ground.
Yeah, and Genie Low then going very, very low. He goes down to 1,000 HP. He's going to need a lot of heals. He does have a Rejuve on him, and there's a shield so low, and he's only just managed to survive. And there comes a Fear onto the Druid, so he's only got the Priest to heal him right now. Actually, Druid uses Trinket, and Genie Low manages to survive that onslaught, and Inflame gets feared. So let's switch over to Paper Cat, as he's actually blinded, and Genie Low going very, very low, manages to survive. And once this Priest is I mean, has he used it? Actually, the Priest is actually managing to drink just a little bit there as he ticked up about 700 mana. You can see
the Innervate is out on Finrod right now, so you know they're making him waste all their cooldowns and stuff, and it's going to put him in a situation where they're not going to be able to heal. Like right now, you do see the Death Coil coming out on Finrod. This is bad for this team. Fear on the Priest at the same time, and now we have a Bash. That crowd control. Just a great cycle of it, but they weren't able to get a kill. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I mean, Genie Low, I've got to be thankful, but it might be a kill now as, well, Cloak of Cheat of Death, whatever you want to call it, as most people say, does proc, and it's not going to matter as there was too many dots. An intercept from Paper Cat manages to kill Genie Low, and this will surely secure the second round. And so much pressure. I mean, they had the Druid available with all the mana, but he was completely out of the game, getting controlled by Inflame. There goes down the second one. Finrod from the German team. Just the Priest left standing, and they're probably just sat there now talking amongst each other, maybe even shouting about what they're going to change. And is it the similar style where you can change class comps every 2 rounds?
Yep, every
okay,
round.
Great.
So that, you know, tournament admins decide, you know, when they're making the rules, if they want to let players constantly switch or not, and they are allowing them. So they have, it's 3 minutes in between each match, so if you are switching, it has to be fast.
And actually, Nihilum played a better game damage-wise there, as they actually stopped. Genie Lol did about 15k less damage, and Nihilum still maintained their damage, so they played stronger and seemed to just got better than their opponents.
Yeah. That crowd control chain was great, and that's how you can, that's one of the ways you can, you know, the ways you can tell how good a team is when they can cycle through their crowd control. You know, we saw the Death Coil on the Druid, a Fear on the Priest, a Bash on the Priest, and then a Fear on the Druid. So, you know, they were bouncing it back and forth.
I definitely saw all that as well. It was fantastic. But yeah, no, I mean, but they're such a practice team, Nihilum. I mean, when Inflame left SK, he actually joined up with them, you know, almost instantly, and they've been practicing ever since, and they're hitting very rare. And if I'm calling someone's name wrong, Hubris is a Swedish player. Hello,
He's
Hubris.
awesome. Yeah.
And Care Koala.
Yeah, Care Koala. Care Koala. I don't know.
I'm just going to call him
Must
Care Bear. He's a bear. He cares. Care Bear.